Chair now recognizes Mr. Subramanyam.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I appreciate the conversation today. Mr. Jackson, you just mentioned you should ask the president the question. I want to tackle that a little bit because the question was, about defunding the police. Yet this Congress and this president has not fully funded the police and fully funded DC with its own taxpayer money, correct? And what we are seeing is that we're hundreds of police officers and law enforcement officials short in DC. So could you explain that a little bit more?
I was referencing a little bit broader than DC, but this Congress has made the largest defunding of law enforcement, I believe, in American history. Under Republican leadership and under Trump's advisement to cut ATF, to cut DEA, to cut FBI, and then the remaining officers that are left, as opposed to putting them to their jobs to intercept guns that are being trafficked into our communities, they are now patrolling impoverished communities like Ward 8. And so when we talk about defunding the police, we should look right into the eyes of President Trump and ask him, why are you defunding the federal law enforcement that is supposed to protect our communities from the flow of illegal guns?
Mayor Bowser, would you agree with that?
With defunding the federal law enforcement apparatus?
Just say that this administration and this Congress has not fully funded law enforcement.
I would agree with that.
Exactly, I would as well, because in the end, we're spending millions of dollars a day on law enforcement, on National Guard, instead of spending that money on law enforcement. That should be a more sustainable long-term solution. And we are underfunding crime prevention programs in DC. And what the National Guard is doing here is they're getting bored, actually. They're at street corners just hanging out, and they're not trained to be in law enforcement. And we're spending millions of dollars a day instead while they pick up trash. These are National Guardsmen from Louisiana, where there is a very high crime rate. There's plenty to do in Louisiana. I went to school there, so I know. And from other states that have their own crime problem and have their own problems back home, but instead they're being sent here for photo ops, essentially. And they deserve better, their families deserve better, and the people of DC deserve better instead. And so I think what a better solution that's better for taxpayers and better for the American people, and certainly the people of DC, is why don't we just fund law enforcement and crime prevention programs in DC instead of continually underfunding them? Why don't we actually do what Chairman Mendelson just said and try to do more initiatives to find more law enforcement officers, because that is a problem. Recruiting is a big problem. Instead, we're sending the National Guard in. And I've got constituents, I'm in Northern Virginia, who work in DC every single day. And one constituent in Warrenton said, I work in the district, and now I'm in fear of my safety to come to work and go home. With military roaming the streets with possible unchecked authorities, there are many opportunities for harassment and abuse. I'll tell you, it's not just opportunities. People have been harassed and abused. And I've never felt unsafe before, but now I am becoming terrified. And I've gotten stories after story about that. Mayor Bowser, have you gotten stories like that as well?
I have gotten stories about people who are concerned about seeing the military patrolling, policing with guns out of state, and people aren't really sure who they report to.
And I had one person tell me that their kids play soccer on the weekends, and they had National Guardsmen at their soccer practice just hanging out, and the kids got scared, right? And so I think a better solution would be to send those folks, those National Guardsmen from Louisiana and Mississippi, home. And instead, why don't we fully fund DC's crime prevention programs and its budget instead, and actually move forward with these programs that have been working because crime was going down. And then my constituents can come and work in DC, make that long commute that I make every morning, and we can actually get to work and not be fearing that at every street corner we might get harassed. One more constituent said that they worked in DC for over 30 years and still go frequently. He never felt unsafe until now. And it is a dangerous power play that this administration is doing. And these federal forces are not concentrating on federal issues of protecting our security. And what I think we should be doing is finding people in our communities who can, or people who want to join the police, who can actually stay in our communities long-term and actually fix the problem long-term instead of this short-term photo op that this administration is putting forward. I yield back, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chair, I have a UC.